All right, we are live. Okay, so let me get business out of the way first. As always, please smash that sub button. And I realized something. Also, put that little bell and hit that, click that on and hit all. That will get you a notification every time we're going to go live. Hit the like button. It's right there in front of you. So just go ahead and do it now while you're thinking of it. And share it. Or comment too, but share it out with everybody. Okay, as you can see, after a couple of weeks of missing, we've got our beloved Paul back. Paul, you're looking okay. You're looking good. I mean, do you want to say anything to the listeners about your disappearance?
Nothing much other than I'm glad to be back, and
Okay.
Let's have a great football season.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. Still trying to decide if we're going to try to do post game and previews on the same show or not. Might make it a little bit longer, but it might save us trying to find a spot during the week. Okay, so we got a lot of things we want to cover, but before we do that, I found this interesting little tidbit. Okay, this little chart I saw today, it's giving Iowa's record. I guess it all ain't showing up, huh? Giving Iowa's record since 2012. I think that says 4-6 in 2012, or
4-8.
4-8. Yeah, 4-8. Man, were we that bad? Jiminy Christmas.
That was the first year of Greg Davis and the first year of Phil Parker as coordinators, and Greg Davis was awful and Phil was just new at it. He said, I really flubbed up that year, but anyway.
So anyway, in 2013 they go 7-6. They have 5 seasons at 8-5. So there's a meme going around Facebook and Twitter and every place else with a picture of Kirk, and it says the king of 8-5. But I just thought it was kind of interesting. It breaks it down year by year. I believe during that stretch, Iowa has a 60% winning percentage. It does tell the quarterbacks over here in each side. Okay.
There's a lot of programs that would love to have had an 8-5 record some of those times.
Yeah.
Don't say that. The fans will be disappointed in you, Paul.
Well,
I would like to say the last 10 years we've averaged over 9 wins a season. They always whoever put this together goes back to the last losing season we've had.
Right.
And they start there, So
Yep. And then there's the QB rankings. I don't know how the QB ratings go on here, but take a look at the year that Hill was up there. That's the low mark. 18.3. I don't know what a high is considered in this ranking.
Probably over 18.
Yeah, it was terrible.
He was at 18, yeah. It looks like Rudock had the 2 highest ones on this chart. No, he did not. Stanley had the highest, and he had the second highest and the third highest. So for people putting Stanley down, look at his QB ranking.
For people putting Ferentz down.
Who?
Yeah, so for anyone putting Ferentz down, show me another team in the country where their QBR is 18 and they got 10 wins.
Yeah. Despite Hill, we got 10
That's
wins.
coaching.
We could have got 11 if it weren't for Hill. We're going to put that one on Hill and the referees.
We could have had 11 if it wasn't for the fair catch signal.
Yeah. I know it, but he still only had to go 20 yards to get him in field goal range, and we could have won the game that way. He couldn't go 20 yards. He went 20 yards the other way.
Yeah, Marv Cook's getting mad at you right now, Dean. So
why is that? Because I'm putting Hill down?
Yeah, he did a long thing on that podcast he was on, Hurley and Gallery, about fans running down players and coaches at Iowa. And he said if it was like that when he played, he would have probably not liked the University of Iowa as much as he does. Like, he loves Petrus, and he just can't stand it that, people run Petrus down all the time. But anyway, it is what it is.
Where did his son transfer to?
He never transferred. He stayed 5 years at Iowa.
Oh, he never played.
Drew Cook played very little wasn't at tight end, wasn't at quarterback very long, just like Marv wasn't at quarterback very long, and went to tight end, and he had Hawkinson and Fant playing in front of him. So, but he loved Iowa and he stayed there,
Yeah.
So.
I'm going to put this thing up here too, just to kind of have a little fun. I don't know how accurate this chart is, but I decided to share it so we can kind of discuss it a little bit. This is Iowa versus Iowa State in all these sports, okay? But you will notice that it's not 100% accurate because we're ahead 3-0 in women's wrestling. Iowa State doesn't have a women's wrestling team.
Iowa State don't have a baseball team.
No, they don't, but over the years they did. So the Iowa basketball says Iowa leads 64-29. I don't know if you guys can read that. I find that hard to believe that isn't more skewed toward Iowa State because they seem to have dominated us in basketball over the years.
Before Johnny Orr went to Iowa State was one of the worst men's basketball programs in the history of mankind.
Okay. So our 29 losses to Iowa State must have come up in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't read the rest of these, but I just thought it was interesting to see how Iowa has dominated Iowa State over the years. But, that tide's a turning. Iowa State's gotten better in wrestling. Their women's basketball program, I would say, is right now, this year, I would say together they're both on par with each other.
Well, I think their athletic department, they could take a major step back here. They're running a big deficit I saw online, and they're not going to be able to do the upgrades they've been wanting to do or something. So
they want the state of Iowa to bail them out with government money.
So they were saying that Matt Campbell took a pay cut in order to make sure that his coaches could retain his coaches and pay the money that they deserved. So is that not true? They just don't have the money, so they cut.
He gave $1 million of his salary to go to revenue sharing for the players. And then another thing I found interesting was, he gave him a real good bargain, but he also got his buyout. It's like dirt cheap now, so he can go any place he wants to as long as the other team plays $3 million. Well, $3 million, like Paul will tell you, is nothing.
No, it was actually $2 million. I listened to the podcast.
$2 million? It was like nothing,
Yeah, it was nothing. But that's what the other school would have to pay, or he would have to pay it to get out of his contract. What's the school got to pay to get out of the contract if they don't want him around anymore?
No, I don't know. That
wasn't released.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen anyway. He's a proven coach, but he is. He's a proven coach, as long as he ain't playing Iowa. So.
Yeah. Anyway, Iowa's overall record is 901 and 303 and 4 ties over all sports. But I'm not going to read the rest of these because I can't even see them.
I will point out that when I was a little kid, Iowa never beat Iowa State in wrestling. Harold Nichols was a powerhouse, and Iowa was just the little brother in wrestling until about 1972 or something, 71 or 2. So,
Paul, is that your place? That's beautiful behind you. Is that one of those? What do you call it? Images in the background?
Yeah, it's just a fake background.
Wow, my God, I just happen to know. Grand piano. Look at that. Paul, I was saying, buddy, you're holding out on me, dude. Umpire must be paying you really good cash.
Mine's a fake background too. I want it to look like I'm floating around glowing in heaven.
Oh,
If I could figure out how to do a fake background, I probably would. But I got my whole walls looking like Hawkeye, so at least I'm Hawkeye oriented.
that's
All
right.
right, guys.
Sure is good to have you back, Paul.
It's nice to be back.
It is. All right, so let's do this. I'm ready to move on to the biggest recruiting bust that Iowa's had over the years, and I hope that I and I hope Marv Cook don't get mad at this one, because obviously we're gonna call a spade, and if a person didn't pan out, they didn't pan out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Paul, I mean, I don't know how much time you had to prepare, because I'm sure you didn't know for sure if you were coming on or not. So
It's all right. My biggest recruiting bust was probably Dan Doring.
okay, I do remember him. I don't remember much about him. Probably that's because he was a recruiting bust.
Exactly.
Do you remember what position he played?
He was an offensive lineman, guard, tackle, and he was super highly rated coming out of high school. I think he was the number 1 or 2 offensive lineman, top 5 in the country or something, and of all players.
Okay. Yeah. And I honestly, all my lists that I've got are all football, except I got one wrestling. But anyway, how about you there, buddy, Calvin?
Oh, I got a great big list of busts. I don't know the number 1 recruit we ever got in football for Kirk was Kyle Williams. He ended up in a penitentiary, so I guess he was a bust. Never played at Iowa, but I don't know if you want somebody that played. One thing I hate about calling some of my guys busts were that it was because they got injured.
Yeah.
The highest rated recruit Hayden ever got. A lot of people don't even know who he is, but he's my friend on Facebook, Malcolm Christie. He was the number 1 defensive lineman in the country on Parade Magazine, and he was from New Jersey, and he broke his back when he was a senior in high school. But Hayden brought him anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that a recruiting bust. I'm talking about guys.
To me, that's not a. I hate calling anybody a bust. That got hurt. That was my point.
Yeah, I guess my whole point of this was, and I agree with you on this. My whole point is let's talk about guys that actually did play and didn't live up to the expectations that we thought they might.
Yeah, we had a bunch of quarterbacks, Dukes Hogan and people like that, but
yeah, but according to Kirk, Deuce and Markle and Labus were all injured at one point, which is why they were never used.
Yeah, I don't know that Deuce was injured very much. He still can't handle an offense, remember plays and all that
keep
stuff.
Seeing him how he keeps moving around from team to team. God, and I think he's still doing it. I can't believe he must be on about his 8th year by now.
Yeah, there was a lot of players, so.
Okay. Well, Ben kind of stole my thunder. To me, Willie Guy comes to mind. I believe he might have been a part of Hayden's last recruiting class, and he didn't work out with Kirk. I might have
I think his last year was Hayden's last year.
Okay, yeah, but I could have swore he actually had 1 year with Kirk, and Kirk kicked him off the team. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, we're gonna move on from that, and guys, I know we said something about injury that shouldn't be on this list, but to me, Cade McNamara. is on this list. I agree that he was injured, but he came back supposedly fully healthy twice and wasn't able to live up to when he was healthy. He just didn't look like the quarterback we expected him to be. Whether or not he was being true to himself or he really was a letdown or whether the injuries were still nagging him, I don't know. But I think every Hawkeye fan would just say that the Cade McNamara experiment did not work. Agree or disagree?
I wouldn't call him a bust just because he was so injured, but I don't know.
All right. Paul, what do you think? What do you think about that one?
Who?
Cade McNamara.
Yeah. You know the problem. I think his first pass was a touchdown, and then it just all went down from there.
Yeah, I believe that was a diving catch by Seth Anderson, who also never was the same after that catch.
So much hope.
Yeah, there was a lot of hope there. All right, Kelvin, do you got us another one you want to talk about?
Oh, well, Dan McGuire. Wasn't no injury problems there. You know, supposed to be the greatest quarterback. Hayden brought in good quarterbacks every year, very highly recruited guys. People would be shocked today if we got quarterbacks like that, but he just never did anything at Iowa and became a real good player at San Diego State, but then washed out in the pros. But he was a bust for Iowa anyway.
Well, he was a bust for Iowa, but did we fans put too much expectations on him because of who his brother was, and we thought maybe it would be in his pedigree?
He was the number 2 quarterback in the country.
Okay.
That wasn't rated by Iowa fans. I can't remember who was number 1, but
all right. I have a current player on the team that up till now, to me, he's been a disappointment. He hasn't lived up to his expectations. And this is his senior year, and I'm hoping that by moving to safety, he will be the player that I always thought he could be. And that would be Xavier Wampa. I think you guys saw that one coming.
He's gonna be a 3 or 4 year starter. Hard to. That's tough, Dean.
I know.
And he was good as a sophomore at Iowa. Last year was just so bad, you know. Why don't we revisit him next year?
All right, after we see what he does.
See if he's really good. But I sure thought of him just because he was so highly rated. But
yeah, he was a 5-star, wasn't he, coming out?
4 or 5. So
yeah. And you remember, didn't he had a news conference, and I think we all sat around our radios or whatever, or YouTube, and waited for him to make the announcement.
Yeah.
All right. You got another one for us? Paul, do you have any more that come to your head?
About Glenn Worley for basketball.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was a McDonald's All-American in high school. And he just didn't quite have the career. I mean, he was just constantly in foul trouble. He was a marked man.
There you go. Yeah. How about you, Kelvin? What do you got?
Well, I'm looking at my list. I guess if I go to men's basketball, other than Connie Hawkins getting in trouble with the FBI and never playing at Iowa, I'll go with Johnny Fort, who was supposed to be the next Michael Jordan. I think he was from Gary, Indiana. Luke got him, and then Luke went to Arizona before Johnny got on the team, I think. And then Raveling didn't hardly play him. He must not have been very good. He was like a 6'5" point guard. So,
Okay.
and he was very highly recruited, you know.
Well, Raveling his last year played the 3 freshmen that went on to be excellent players for Iowa. You know who else in basketball was a big letdown? I don't even know if I should bring his name up because his name is poison. Pierce.
Yeah, I had him on my list. So.
You know, just think of what that guy could have done had he behaved himself.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he was that bad on the basketball court, but
Nope. He had skills.
he's an evil person. So.
Evil person.
Yep.
Belongs to where he's at right now. Okay. Well, and here's
I
one.
believe he shares residence with Kyle Williams.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't even know if Johnny's in. He's probably not in. He's probably not incarcerated. Did I say Johnny? Pierre? Yes. He's probably not incarcerated anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
They always let guys off a little too soon, in my opinion, for stuff like that. But.
You do it once, you're going to do it again. You can't be really.
Well, he did it. He did it more than once.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
But.
First time the coach came to his defense. Second time coach says, I can't do that again. I'm going to get fired if I come to your defense. All right. I got this one. What do you guys think about this one? Blake Larson, or was he an injury guy?
He was an injury guy, but I have him on the list.
Yeah.
All right. You guys got, I got Jakari Teemer, the wrestling dude that came with all the accolades, was supposed to come out and win a national title for us, and turned out to be the biggest bust we had. He let his teammates down at big time.
We might have a certain heavyweight right now that's kind of vying for that spot too. We'll see.
And who would that be?
Well, he's talking about Keeter.
Yeah.
First year though, going up against big guys.
Yeah. He actually finished higher than his seed. So I mean, he didn't win did he? I think, but he still finished higher than he was supposed to.
Like Kirk said, 6 guys that finished in front of him graduated this year. So
yeah. Are you surprised how much Kirk knew about wrestling and what was going on?
I think Kirk, and that's what athletes of a lot of different sports, like Lucy Olson, love Kirk because he's interested in people. Yeah. And of course, Peter's part of Kirk's family. He's on the team. He's still came as a football player too. So doesn't surprise me.
The thing with Keeter, I forgot. I mean, he wanted to play football this year, but he can't. And something to do with that. Because he's actually on scholarship with wrestling and not football, which I thought he was on scholarship with football. So they must have moved his scholarship to wrestling when he decided to wrestle, and nobody knew that he couldn't play. He couldn't play football. So I don't know what has to happen for him to get back on the football team. I think we're probably never going to see this guy on the football team.
And I don't know if that designation would end when the new semester starts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got a new semester starting now. You know, whenever school starts again. But
okay.
To be fair, I was talking more about the football side as far as BUSTS than the rest.
Definitely. Honestly, you're right, because we thought this guy could do big things with football, and outside of his first year on the football team where he redshirted, he's never played a down of football for Iowa.
Yeah.
Paul, you know I'm stupid. You have to explain stuff like that to me. You know? So, geez. So.
Okay. So also, alrighty. Here's one. Another guy who committed to Iowa, never played football, actually committed twice. So I'm going to call him a bust, even though he's not bust for Alabama.
Yeah.
Caden Proctor.
I think that's
he
fair.
burned us once, and he burned us twice. If he ever decides to come back to Iowa, I hope Kirk says no.
Yeah,
I had him on the list too. So
All right. Who else you got on your list? Anybody we haven't mentioned?
me, I have kind of grouped them in positions. You know, I got 2 wide receivers, Caleb Brown and that Martin kid from Iowa City who went to Michigan, come to Iowa, and then he went to Nebraska, and he never.
Oliver Martin. Yeah, he was a bust.
I think Caleb Brown was Martin caught a touchdown pass at Iowa, and he caught touchdown passes at Nebraska and returned kicks. Caleb Brown's way the bigger bust. I mean, he was supposed to be a 4-star that went to Ohio State, then he comes to Iowa and he can't run a pass route, and now he's at some little dinky school, So
that's too bad. What about Arlen Bruce? Speaking of wide receivers, what about Arlen Bruce?
Little gambling problem there. So
he did, but he also, I don't think he, a certain year we would have beat Iowa State, except somebody dropped a pass at the goal line.
He slipped on an end around.
Mm-hmm.
That jet sweep that you like Weechin to run all the time? He got a jet sweep and he was open for the touchdown and slipped on the turf or something.
Okay. Or he could have slipped on purpose too, because remember, he had a gambling problem. Everybody that year was betting the under on Iowa's over-under.
He sure made a lot of bets, And people say, oh, they're only like $3 or $4 bets. Well, what's the difference? You're not supposed to bet. And then he made a lot of them on Iowa football. It's like a big no-no,
Yeah, I think he justified by saying he did the over and not the under. It doesn't really matter. He's gone, but as long as we're talking about Bust. Yeah. The only other one I had on my list that came to mind, and I know the more we talk, the more it comes to mind, was Dace Richardson. You guys remember him?
Yeah.
I got him on the list. So, yeah.
I thought he was injured quite a bit too, but
and he played quite a bit.
Yeah.
That's what somebody was saying, that he did play a lot.
I knew Marshall Yonda's sister. I was dancing at the Chrome Horse one night, and Marshall Yonda's sister was a couple years older than Marshall, and she came to Chrome Horse that night with Marshall's jersey on. And I go, hey, how's Pace Richardson doing? And she goes, Marshall says he's a wimp. And she said, Marshall said to him, and this is a line out of Blindside, and Blindside hadn't come out yet. He said, Marshall told Pace to pretend that the quarterback's your sister and the guy across the line's trying to get to her and rape her. Trying to get him to really play tougher and meaner. And he said it just didn't work.
All right. Okay. So next we're going to move on to what I call our boons or our splashes. And I'll explain that after this commercial break.
Yeah.
All right, that will be our only commercial break of the night. Thank you guys for riding through it. DH says, great show, guys. Appreciate it, DH. Appreciate it. If you haven't already, subscribe and hit the like button for us, please.
Oh, I hope DH is who I think it is, because DH is on one of my boom lists. A walk-on wide receiver named Devin Harberts.
All right.
But I bet this DH probably is not Devin.
Well,
Maybe
he
it's
can tell you
Desmond
personally if he
Howard.
doesn't want to tell us.
Desmond Howard.
Well,
it's Dana Holgerson, the offensive coordinator for Nebraska.
Look at the comments, buddy. It's him.
Is it Devin?
It's Devin.
Yeah, he's my friend on Facebook. He was from a little town in Western, and I had classmates that were named Harberts that were his distant cousins.
Well, let me tell you,
Devin's my friend on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
But I think you're friends with half of the former Iowa Hawkeyes.
No, I have very, very few. I just like to name drop.
Okay.
It's like I'm friend with Pope Paul. That's what I call you, Paul, is Pope Paul. So
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So I think I managed to cover a couple of different sports, but I want to preface this by saying I want to go with guys that didn't come in with a lot of accolades, or people were putting them down, didn't think they were going to amount to much, and then they surprised us. The prime example I want to use is Keegan and Chris Murray. They didn't have a lot of accolades, but Fran saw something in him. He liked him. He knew what he was getting, and I'm always proud of this, because when I was still working with Nolan, that's Paul, at the same time Paul still was, is I told on the thing, I went through his 5 recruits that year, and I said, I don't know why people are putting these people are so angry with these guys. Fran practically stole these guys, but the Murray twins were going to be something special. But I did say one of them would start before the other.
Cool. The prophecy.
So it always baffled me why we put them down, and now people can't get enough love of them.
Now I'm working with the Pope and a prophet.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, give me what you got.
Aaron White probably falls into that category. Was not a highly rated guy.
Okay. All right. How about you, Kelvin?
Well, me, I follow recruiting very well over the history of, and I call Iowa walk on you.
Yes.
That's why Kevin Casper, I'm going to just name the wide receivers. Kevin Casper, Devin Harberts, who when Devin Harberts graduated, he was like the 3rd leading all-time receiver at Iowa, walk on. Scott Helverson. We all know Scott, right?
Yes.
Those are just wide receivers, and I know I skipped some wide receiver here. Charlie Jones, another walk-on. Yeah. He's playing in the NFL. Kevin Casper might have had, he played quite a bit in the NFL, and it just amazes me, that these guys, Iowa has trouble producing wide receivers, and some of the greatest ones ever were walk-ons. Jim Morrow was another one, but anyway.
Okay, tell me a little bit more about Devin, because I'm going to be honest with you. He finished as a 3rd receiver when he third most yardage receiver.
Something like that. Close there.
Mm-hmm. I'm embarrassed. I don't recognize the name, and I'm sorry, Devin, if you're still watching.
Chuck Hartley would tell you who he was.
Was he one of Chuck Hartlieb's favorite targets?
Well, he's one of Chuck's targets, Okay,
so. That explains it. I was living in California the first time during the Chuck Hartlieb years, so I didn't know a lot of Iowa players at that time, because we might get 1 or 2 games on TV out here in California before the internet and the streaming services and stuff became out.
Big Ten Network and ESPN Full Field or whatever it was called.
Yeah, ESPN had that thing where you could buy the game, pay by view or something.
Yeah.
I would do that, and then I would set it up to record when I first started doing that. But then I found out that I couldn't record it, and I missed the game anyway, and I paid all that money for a game I couldn't watch.
Oh.
Those were the days, my friends.
We got it pretty good now.
Yeah. All righty. Okay, who else do you guys have on your list that didn't come with a lot of accolades but surprised everybody?
Dallas Clark was a walk-on.
There you go.
That's hard to believe, knowing how, the things that Dallas Clark did, that he was a walk-on.
Sean Constantine.
High school quarterback, Dallas Clark.
How many high school quarterbacks have we turned into a tight end or a wide receiver?
I don't know. Mark
Chad
Cook.
Greenway.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, just from he played 8-man football in South Dakota. So,
Well, here's another one that you guys. How about Mekhi Sargent?
that's a good one.
Junior college kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a great player. I loved him.
Yeah, we got him out of junior college. Just think, if we'd had the rule back then, we could have got him for 2 more years.
That's right.
Oh, if we go back to bust for a moment, would we have to include Brendan Weger?
Well, just because he got in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't get in trouble.
Yes, he did. I couldn't believe Bobby Stoops wanted him because he was a very talented kid,
Well, he did good for us when he was on the field.
Well, heck yes, and he did good, and he did good that the NFL wanted him even after he went and played at some little school. But it kind of bothered me when Bobby Stoops took him after his problems at Iowa.
The only problem he had in Iowa was
he didn't. Of course, Oklahoma was noted for not caring too much about anything except winning. But he didn't last. He never played at Oklahoma. He didn't last there either.
Outside
Probably
of
for the
girlfriend
same
issues,
reason.
Outside of girlfriend issues, what kind of trouble did he cause at Iowa?
I probably could get sued. I'm not gonna say, but I think it had something to do with a drug that's legal now in Illinois. But
oh, okay.
I think, but I don't know.
I guess
sure.
I'm oblivious. I'm oblivious. I didn't know about that part.
No, but I don't. I could be wrong. I shouldn't even said it.
No, that's fine.
But
if you're wrong, maybe he's watching tonight too, and he'll tell you you're wrong.
His lawyer will contact me.
Well, you're not saying for sure.
No, but
you guys got any others on top of your head that you just want to throw out there?
I got a bunch of them, but the 2 greatest quarterbacks in Paul's lifetime at Iowa, Chuck Long was the lowest rated recruit ever at quarterback for Hayden. And then Mr. Banks, he was a forgotten junior college guy in Gulfport, Mississippi. I think it was Jones County JC or something, and nobody wanted him. And Kirk just took him because we ran out of quarterback recruits, and that's why Hayden took Chuck Long. He was the last guy on their list. So,
anyway. And the funny thing about Chuck and the passing records that he set, he was mostly a running quarterback in high school. He didn't throw the ball a lot.
He'd throw like 7 times a year in high school.
Yeah. Well,
and that's the truth.
Speaking of which, there was a back in a small town Iowa college, there was a quarterback. Now, he didn't play football at the Division I level, but his running back did, but as a linebacker for Iowa. And he only got on the field in the 4 years he was at Iowa. He only got on the field, I think, a few times. But this guy worked for me. He was the quarterback. And I tease him because he threw 1 pass all year, and it was to the other team. And I would never let him forget that because I was at that game and he never threw another pass that year. They would give the ball to the guy who would eventually become a running back at Iowa. And I'm sorry, I forget his name, but he's probably been gone for at least 5 years now, 6 years from the Iowa team. But anyhow, he would get all their yardage. Why they never recruited him as a running back, I'll never know. But anyhow, I guess they wanted him. Guys, I don't know if you realize this, if you can see what's going on, but Jason is on the broadcast.
Cool.
And he says there is a certain old lineman from Denison, Iowa, who played QB in high school.
Yeah, sure.
Robert Gallery.
Sure.
Oh, sure.
Is that who he's talking about? Robert Gallery?
Brandon Scherf.
Oh, that's who it was? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Forgive me. I did not. I'm slow to pick up on these things. That's why I
had to be the biggest quarterback ever. Had to be the biggest quarterback ever in the history of Iowa high school football.
All right. Thank you, Jason. If anybody else wants to. Okay. I got another one. Bobby Sanders.
Yeah.
Yep.
He
had no Division I offers.
Well, Iowa, but yeah, you just throw Robert Gallery in there with him. They came in the same class, and they were the last two guys recruited. So,
were they in the first class of Kirk, or were they in the class? I was going to say, or were they in Hayden Fry's last class? I know that's about the time that they were there.
Robert Gallery was offered by Hayden, but Kirk decided to keep him.
Okay.
Mostly because his brother Nick was a great punter at Iowa, and Kirk likes legacy guys that are dedicated, you know.
Right.
But, Joe Moore, Kirk's old coach, is the one that sent Bobby Sanders to Iowa from Erie Cathedral High School in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Can you believe that this guy was passed over by all these good schools? I mean, he was, oh my gosh, the things he did at Iowa.
If we're going with the low-hanging fruit, I'm going to throw in Jack Campbell.
He was on my list. He's on my list. Yeah, definitely. Low-hanging fruit. So, Paul, so that's a low-hanging fruit. Do you want to get one off the high branch for us?
Man.
This has got to be one you got to reach for, Paul. I don't know.
Yeah.
You got enough vertical jump to get to one, or?
Yeah, we'll see what we got here. How about Mitch King?
Yeah, he was from Burlington.
He definitely turned out really well for Iowa.
I think he was from Burlington, Iowa, I think.
Really? Was he? Really? I didn't know that.
I think so. Could be wrong. I'm wrong all the time.
I loved his flowing hair coming out of the back of his helmet. And then he shows up one day with it all cut off, and I'm going, Mitch, you took away what made your strength.
Yeah.
Your hair was your strength. What about Wiseman for Heisman?
That's another good one.
Mm-hmm. Walk on you.
Yeah. Would you guys put Cooper DeJean in that category? Or
when he committed, he was, but they called him a 4-star when he came to Iowa. You know, but he was a 2-star when Iowa offered him.
And I think he was like a MVP of one of the Nike camps or something too. Like,
then he blew up.
Yeah,
he was Gatorade Player of the Year as a senior in Iowa, but Kirk and Tyler Barnes and LeVar found him first. So
yeah,
I'd have to say Sean Considine. I think he was a walk-on turned.
There's like 8 walk-on safeties. You know what I mean? Schulte and Gervais and a bunch. That one that played for maybe Gervais was the one that played for the Los Angeles Rams. I don't remember, and got a Super Bowl ring. But anyway.
You know what I miss? I miss the old days of our linebackers and DBs just dominating, you know. And then every time they get a sack or a tackle, yeah, they just stomp around. And I mean, they just had attitude. And nowadays, our guys just laugh at when I tackled you. I'm just going to laugh at you and walk away. You know, it's just, it doesn't seem like we got the killer instinct anymore in these guys. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
You ready for another one, Dean?
I'm more than ready.
Because I got to mention this one. He was my number one. Boom. As a walk-on. Hayden's first or second best defensive back ever from Jamaica, New York. I think that's where he was from. Devon Mitchell. Devon Mitchell.
Yeah.
Devon Mitchell, yeah.
Walk on. We wanted Nate Creer out of his high school, and he kept badgering Bernie Wyatt that he was way better than Nate Creer, and he was, you know. And other walk-ons, you know, like Riley Moss, he committed as a walk-on. I don't know when. You know, there's an NFL. Devon Mitchell and Riley Moss. There's two NFL players, you know, that were walk-on. I would call that a boom. You know?
Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Guys, okay, let me throw out these couple names. I mean, these guys went on to do huge things in the NFL. But tell me, did they live up to the hype or did they exceed the hype? Marshall Yanda and Tristan Wirfs.
Marshall Yanda exceeded the hype by a million miles.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I was looking for. Guys that just like.
Wirfs was a superstar out of high school, so I don't know about that. But yeah.
Paul, Jason loves your new house.
Thank you so much.
Look at all Jason's buddies who aren't here tonight. They could come on here and they would still get to interact with him.
That's right.
Mhm.
Jason, tell everybody we're on. All right. Who else you guys got?
I got two walk-on running backs, Rick Bayless,
Yep.
and a guy that played in the NFL and was faster than Tavian Banks and way bigger, Ryan Terry.
Now, that name I don't remember, but Rick Bayless, I do.
Tony Dorsett's cousin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he come as a walk-on to Iowa, and it only took him about a year. And then he played with. He was a year or two older than Cedric Shaw. Started, and then he would beat Tavian Banks and them guys in those sprints in practice. And he was big. You know, he's a lot bigger. And anyway, He played for the Phoenix or the Arizona Cardinals. He led the NFL in kickoff returns.
Yeah.
And but
How about Sean Green? I mean, both times, right? Like he left and came back, and I mean, nobody really, you know, he was carrying furniture, delivering furniture, and next thing you know, he's in the Heisman race.
Yeah. Well, if you guys remember right, when he was a freshman, he got a lot of love and playing time, but he was also couldn't hold on to the ball. He dropped the ball a lot.
Didn't he start out as a safety?
He was always a running back that I know of at Iowa.
Okay.
I know when he come from prep school. I know one thing: those people following recruiting had a big idea about him when he come from prep school. He had to go to prep school to get his grades good enough to come back to Iowa, and boy, we thought he was really something, you know. But
yeah.
And,
does he still hold the record for the most yardage in the season?
KJ didn't pass him?
no, I don't think so. I think
KJ didn't come
KJ
close.
too he only ended up with around 1,400 yards. I think he was behind Tavian and John.
So, yeah, he was on pace earlier in the season to pass it, but you know, teams like Nebraska, Michigan
Ohio
State, UCLA, Ohio State kept him under 100 yards.
Gotcha.
You know, heck, he wouldn't even. It weren't for that 72-yard pass play that I really call a run play. That was a run in my book.
Yeah, it's awfully close.
I mean, technically it was a pass, but it's a run. Okay. Any others you guys can think of? Though I left off the obvious people like Caitlin Clark. I didn't put her on my list. And you guys mentioned some of these other. What about Tim Dwight? Did we mention him?
Yeah, but he was so highly recruited.
Was he? Okay.
I got.
Well,
I still got.
one?
Okay.
Cajun Region.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one.
Anybody that walks on that becomes an All-American might make it.
Yeah.
And Marvin McNutt.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. But I was going to go back. You know, did anybody think that we would have such running back issues the year that Bayless ran the ball that we'd have to get all the way down to a walk-on? I don't know how deep that was in the roster to get Bayless as our running back. And I believe that was the year that Drew Tate was our first-year quarterback. And they had to have rollout plays to keep the ball moving. We had to have rollout plays for him to throw the ball. And he was always better on the run.
Yeah, Bayless.
They bottled him up when they put him back in the pocket and made him stay there.
Rick Bayless played for Hayden like in the 80s.
Are you sure that I got the wrong guy then?
Yeah. I can't remember the name of it. Did they have somebody named, I don't know what the guy's name was. They were down to like their eighth.
Like Marcus Simmons and
they were down to like their eighth running back.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I thought there was a Bayless in there. I really did. I thought it was.
Rick Bayless was a walk-on from Wisconsin, but he showed up and Hayden liked him, and he played in front of scholarship guys. So David Hudson got hurt, so he jumped in, and I think he might have ran for over 1,000 yards. Hayden's old comment about him was he had the perfect bend when he was running. Said it looked like he was running under a low hanging clothesline.
Put his head down and run. All right, guys, let's move on to, because I know we're running out of time and I don't want to keep Paul any longer than I have to. Our freshmen, and basically this is how we're going to do it. Freshmen that we think are going to blow the red shirt. Because there's going to be a lot of freshmen who play that keep the red shirt, right? And so,
most likely with the smaller roster, yes.
Yeah. All right. So, talk to me, guys. I'm going to go with you first, Paul. Name one person off the top of your head that think will blow his red shirt.
Epinesa.
I have him down.
Okay.
Calvin. Give me one.
My number one pick as a freshman that might play the most is CJ Bell, the cornerback from Connecticut. He's a 6'1" or 2 and weighs 185 pounds. And he reminds me of Devon Mitchell watching his tape. And we need a cornerback. Probably, maybe. If our cornerbacks work out, they'll just play him 4 games.
Yeah, I got CJ Bell too. But I also got Olante Dean because we are going to be short in DBs, and I thought maybe he could figure, maybe I thought these guys would be in and out of the lineup quite a bit during the year.
He's a super player, Dean is. But
yeah. So that's mine. Paul, you got another one?
No.
Okay, I'm going to go with, I picked 2 freshman tight ends because I think we're going to need them. Mason Woods and Eli Johnson. I don't know. Because, we only got Ostrenga and, help me out, who's the other one?
We got Ostrenga, Ortworth, Hayden Large, Vanami, and Michael Burt.
Okay, I forgot about him. I forgot about that guy. He's a guy I thought might see some playing time last year, but he didn't.
Yeah. I think of those freshmen, Eli Johnson's the one I think has this tremendous upside to be Lycostringa.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Mason Woods only weighs 218 pounds or something.
So we got to red shirt him and put some meat on him.
Well, I think if Lester uses it, Lester mentioned in a long interview that he reminds him, you guys have to help me with the name because of my chemo. What's the name of the rookie slot wide receiver for the Los Angeles Rams? His name's like Hawkeye or something that had like 1,500 receiving yards for the Rams. Lester says he's just like him, which means he'd be a tremendous like hybrid tight end type.
Interesting.
And I can't remember his name. I bet Jason would know his name, just like that.
Jason, are you still watching? Tell us. Or Google it real quick and then tell us.
He's got some funny name, but I
Wide
think if they
receiver for the
had a
Rams.
bunch, well, he ain't a wide receiver. He's a wide receiver. Yeah, wide receiver type, except he's bigger. Maybe from Arizona State or something. And he got an unbelievable amount of yards last year for the Rams. But I think if tight end, you had a bunch of injuries. Thomas Myers is the one tight end that's got the body to play as a freshman. You know, he weighs 235, 40 pounds. The other guys don't, but.
Actually, I missed him when I was thinking about that. I missed him completely. What about Brooke Goucher or Jacob Wallace, both linebackers?
Wallace cornerback, but
Okay.
Goucher and Cooney are the linebackers, but we're so deep at linebacker, I think they just maybe play in those 4 games, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, in other words, when the game's out of reach, they're going to play in garbage time.
Wallace is he's a cornerback that is really good, but I think he came on campus at like 165 pounds, but maybe he's such a physical player that don't matter,
Yeah. What about Lucas Allgaier? O-liner. Well, at least that's what I got him down as.
And Barnett loves him. Just whether I think they'd like to redshirt him.
Drew McPherson, any chance that he gets his red shirt pulled? Now I got him listed as a defensive back, so
I hate to do all the commenting.
me too.
But yeah, McPherson, we're probably too deep at safety. I would think with Kolaric and Phil loves Kolaric.
Okay.
But
I was kind of looking at the Yosei Epineza, and I originally had him down that his red shirt would get pulled. I'm not convinced of that anymore after seeing that we're probably a lot deeper at the D line than I think we are. A lot of people would have a shot to play ahead of him unless he can beat out some experienced people, which he might. His brother did.
Yep.
The thing I would add is, if he's anything as good as his brother, he's only going to be here 3 years. You might as well play him.
That's right.
What are you saving him for?
I don't know, because I didn't like the fact that we saved him until his junior year, the brother, till his junior year to start him, and we'd only put him in third down situations at that time. Before that,
yeah, we got to get rid of that Phil Parker guy. I mean,
yeah, he don't know what he's doing.
the freshman. I know I was going to hold this off until we commented about news from the practices. But the guy that ain't going to play, I don't think, but I commented on a couple guys I know actually saw him at practice the first day and 2.
Yeah.
And he's just untouchable. This McNeil, the freshman, Nathan McNeil, they described him as quick as Wadley, as fast as Tavian Banks, but he's built, he's 5'11" and he weighs 205.
Mhm.
You know, Wadley could never get up to that as an 18-year-old. You know, it just they said the kid is just ridiculous. You know, but we're so deep at running back.
Jason, the question was the wide receiver from the Rams, if you know who he is. Who did you say compared to him? I forgot.
Mason Woods is what Lester said, and I can't
Okay.
remember his name. Is it like Paca or something? He's a big, it's kind of a slot wide receiver for the Rams. Not tall, but kind of put together.
Yeah. If anybody knows the answer out there, if you could just want to throw it up there in the comments.
Did Jason know?
He hasn't commented back yet. He might be looking. It's Paco, yeah.
Paco?
Paca.
Paca?
Wait, it's spelled Paca.
He must have had like 1,600 yards last year. If I can't use the computer because it's my phone, you know, I just say Rams statistics and he'd be the number one wide receiver, you know.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have a like a laptop or a regular desktop computer at home?
I don't need one.
Okay. That's
I
fine.
got one that I don't turn on.
Oh, I got two laptops. One's I haven't turned on for 4 years. The other one I'm using. Right
The
now.
only time I use the computer is if I got to watch something on the computer. It's a bigger screen, but
Last name is Nauka.
how's it
Well,
spelled?
it's Paco Nick Nauka. No, you.
How do you
I'm not
how do
even
you
gonna
spell
try.
it? How do you spell it?
Nacua.
Nakua. There you go. Paca Nakua. That's how you pronounce it.
All right.
Now I
Good
remember.
job, Rick.
Mhm.
Good job.
I'm good at pronouncing names, but
All right. Guys, I sense that things aren't going as well as I would like them to. But do you have any news, Calvin, you want to share coming out of camp this week, or anything else that you may have read?
What news isn't going as well as you think?
Oh no, I just feel like the podcast isn't going as smooth as I hoped it would. But that's fine. That's fine. Do you have any news out of camp that you want to share that you know about?
Just pretty much, you know, McNeil and Vander Zee is bigger, stronger, faster. You know, there's only been 3 days.
I know.
It's like who's flashing, you know, and all I heard about
and
that.
I always question too is if anything's coming out of camp with news, it would be leaked because nobody's allowed in there. So somebody would be leaking it, you know. And with all the connections you got, you're more likely to hear about the leaks.
I am not always right, and I don't have that many connections. So
All right. Okay.
don't be saying that crap. So
Alrighty.
hopefully
next Sunday, because we'll have Kids Day video to look at and lots of eyes on them. We'll have more to talk about next week.
Do we know a day up for the Big Ten bus tour?
The bus tour, yeah.
That's on the 11th.
I think it started already.
No.
Yeah.
I think Nebraska was the first one, if I'm not mistaken.
Iowa's the 11th.
Okay, that's
funny. Kids Day is like the 9th on a Saturday. That Monday it'll be on BTN.
Yeah, it's kind of weird
in the evening, and then they'll replay it.
So how true of a bus tour is this? If they're starting at Nebraska and they could just go to Minnesota, down to Iowa, up over to Illinois, up to Northwestern, and then Wisconsin, and instead they're going all over the map. So it's basically the bus ain't for real. You know, they're going to be flying all over the place. These guys, they must not have liked that the first few years when they lived on the bus for a couple of weeks. But I think there was only 11 teams in the Big Ten when BTN started.
This is true.
I get kind of tired for the last month and a half on the media, the articles and everything. It's like every week there's a new article about how are we rating the wide receivers and where do they stand? Well, they haven't practiced since March. Nothing has changed. I want to know what the wide receivers, like I said on 3 thread today, I want to know who plays in the Iowa State game. That tells me who has been impressive, right?
Yeah.
So all this talk about is all just talk and speculation.
I know, but people that keep asking that stuff are hoping to find somebody who actually knows what's going on, has seen the inside, or knows somebody from the inside. So they think if they throw it out there, somebody will finally come forward and tell them.
I would bet you $1,000 today that Tim Lester and Budmeyer don't know in what order these 8 wide receivers, how much playing time each one's getting.
No.
After 3 days of practice.
I doubt it too. But I think we can all agree there's a core of 8 or 9 that are going to get used a lot.
Absolutely.
Just how much, I would think, Yeah. I like this wide receiver room from top to bottom. I really do. Have we had more talented wide receivers on this team? We sure have. But from top to bottom, I don't ever think we've had a team like this where, it takes a team to win, and these guys are collectively pretty solid, I think, collectively as a wide receiver group. I believe this is probably one of our most talented top to bottom quarterback rooms, collectively, and we can't wait to see what Mark does. He may end up being a bust, or he may just set the world on fire, So, but those things are yet to be decided, The only thing I'm in for sure is I'm real scared of our DB position. I'm afraid they're going to get burned.
Hey, Paul, are you disgusted that Dean thinks we're having a crappy podcast tonight?
Absolutely not. I mean,
okay, so it is crappy? Okay.
No.
Oh.
But Dean's, he's entitled to his opinion.
Yeah.
He's very critical. I've noticed that. Critical of Ferentz, critical of Budmeyer, critical of our women's basketball recruiting this year.
Now you told me not to say anything about it, and then you go and throw me under the bus.
I'm just teasing you, Dean. I love you.
I know. But for what he's talking about, I told Kelvin earlier today that I felt like we were about to get shut out in the 26 recruiting wars for the girls that we want, and I feel like if we do that, that's going to be a signal to other girls that Iowa is not a place to go play basketball anymore. Like you got the up and comers like Oklahoma. Oklahoma's the shiny new toy on the thing, and since they made the Sweet 16, they're making a lot of noise in the recruiting wars. It just seems like Jan's going about too quietly. I need her to make more noise.
Patience,
Jan, take your little rod and just start beating the bushes. They're out there. Let's get them to come. Have Caitlin call. Have Caitlin make a few phone calls for you. That ought to do it.
No, I predict, as I told you today, that I really do believe that Wolitsko is going to be a Hawkeye. She's down to 4 schools, and I think she's coming to Iowa. And if she does,
I believe South Carolina on that list, does she not?
Yes. Yes, South Carolina. I don't think her parents want her to go to South Carolina. She got Ohio State on there with the drunken driving coach. I don't think her parents want her to go there. USC is the one I'm scared about because is it USC or UCLA?
I thought it was UCLA.
Just because it's close.
Yeah.
I thought it was USC, but it doesn't matter.
It could be.
And if she comes to Iowa, 2 of her acquaintances are Miss Bjorn and especially Miss Harpering. If Harpering came with Wolitsko, you'd have 2 of the top 3 players in the country. That would be a terrible recruiting class.
Just awful.
Oh, that would be a great recruiting
class. And then Bjorn is number 5.
We're going to be yelling national championship.
I think Jan only wants to use a couple of her 4 scholarships because she doesn't have any for next year, and I know that they want to take Cam's sister, Emmanuel. His sister is
Yeah,
a
they've offered her a scholarship, I believe.
I'm sure they want to take her and some of these other.
Is she at 26 or 27?
She's going to be she's a year behind Wolitsko and Harper.
Okay, so she's going to be a junior.
The team you mentioned, Oklahoma, but two teams in the Big Ten are like doing great recruiting is Michigan and Illinois. Oh my God!
Wait a minute! Did you see what Maryland too?
Really?
Maryland reloaded with a whole bunch of transfers.
Oh yeah, I knew that. But I'm talking about these high school recruits and stuff, and
Illinois, Illinois. Ohio State will always be in the mix right now, and Illinois is an up and comer. I mean, they were there a couple of years ago, and now they're back. They only took a couple of years off, and matter of fact, it seems like Illinois had Iowa during Caitlin Clark's years number as Ohio State, but when we beat Ohio State, we beat them when it counted. When we beat Nebraska, we beat them when it counted.
I'm looking at my paper here. Usually, you have me do the news.
You got some news for us.
I should mention that James Rezar went to Independence Junior College, which is a very good football program.
It's also a smart thing because it won't count against his eligibility.
Yeah, supposedly, unless courts change their mind. But and he's going to try quarterback there, which he lasted at that. Well, he's a wide receiver at Iowa. He lasted like 2 days at quarterback at Iowa, and then he went to some little small North Carolina school, and he only lasted like a week there at quarterback. And he decided, well, I ain't gonna play quarterback here either. So that's why he went to Independence Junior College. I mean, I thought it was interesting.
Not only will there be more eyes on him there than there would be other JUCOs, but he gets to keep eligibility and not burn it, so he can get that arm warmed up and stuff. I honestly, I really hope that he makes something of his career. I like to see all the former Hawkeyes that leave Iowa be successful. I don't want to wish a bad ill on any of them.
Me too. Obviously, Kirk thinks the world of him, or he wouldn't have let him practice with the team all spring and everything. One other interesting point, and I don't want to take up all the time, was I think it's cool that I don't know if it's the Indiana game. I can't remember. The 85 football team, the roster, they got 60 some of the guys coming back for the 85 40-year reunion, Paul.
40 years.
Scott Halverson, Chuck Long, Tommy Nickel, not Tommy Nickel, I'm sorry. Rob Howe. Yeah, Rob Howe.
Well, there's so many stars on that team. Larry Station. I hope that
Mitchell.
And Marv Cook mentioned, a lot of people don't like this, but Marv Cook mentioned he hopes they can talk Ronnie Harmon into coming back, and people at Iowa, treat him with respect,
I don't know how many people know this, but it wasn't that long ago he worked at the University of Iowa. Even after he
came back, he came back for one anniversary, and when they announced him at the stadium, I don't know if it was a 20-year, or 15, or 10.
Let me guess.
The crowd booed him, and that was disgusting to me.
What is the crowd? What's wrong with the crowd booing your team, your former team, your coaches?
Like Marv Cook,
these guys.
Marv Cook in his podcast, and I hope we get Marv on sometime. Marv Cook in his podcast, he said the same thing that Chuck Long said, and Don Patterson, and Kirk Ferentz, and Hayden Fry. All them guys said Ronnie was the best teammate and the best player they ever was around.
And they're 100% sure. They're 100% sure that he didn't take any money and throw the game.
But anyway, I hope that would be my hope. I kind of doubt that he even comes back, but Marvin them is trying to get him to come back. You know,
It would be nice. Maybe if his brother comes, he'll come with him.
There you go.
You know.
but anyway.
Well, guys, I think this has been a fun show. It'll be interesting to see the Indiana game, and the sad thing about it is they never televise those little on-field reunions. You know. Anyhow, okay, guys, let's get out of here. We'll see everybody the same time next week, and we'll talk Kids Day next week. And so, please, if you haven't already, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Okay, 3 weeks to go to football, right, Jason? 3 weeks kickoff. Yeah. Hey, however, we don't have to wait that long for football. On the 24th, or was it the 21st? The 21st, Iowa State Cyclones play Kansas State. Are we excited for that one? Because we're going to get our first look and see how good these two teams are.
I just hope Iowa State wins. So they come in and they're rated, and I hope Indiana's still rated when we beat them. Be nice to get a couple rated teams on the whole belt. Yeah.
Well, it's been a while since we beat a top 25 team. All right, guys, let's get out of here.
Our problem is, Dean, we beat ranked teams, and then because we beat them, they fall out of the rankings, and then at the end of the season, they go, Iowa didn't beat any ranked teams. You know?
Right.
Jason agrees with you. Iowa State must win that game. Okay. I'm for it. We're going to find out. I'm actually excited to watch it just a little over 2 weeks from now.
I was going to blow them out. So
I hope you're right. I hope we blow everybody out.
That's
Even
right.
Oregon and Penn State. Wouldn't that be nice? Another 12-0 perfect season. We can play either Penn State, Oregon, or Ohio State for the Big Ten title. What do you guys think? We can dream. We're
going to go unbeaten, and we're going to get every women's basketball recruit we want.
That's right.
There we go. I'm going to dream again. All right, guys, let's get out of here before we say some silly things. Take care, guys. Good night. Go Hawks.
Mm-hmm.